All right, after just 3 weeks of football, 2 NFL teams are out after several players tested positive for COVID-19.
That includes 3 Tennessee Titans players and 5 staff members, which forced the Titans and the Minnesota Vikings, who played each other this past Sunday, to suspend in-person activities and close facilities. The Vikings, however, did not announce any confirmed COVID-19 cases for them at this point. The NFL and the NFLPA posted a joint statement on Twitter saying in part that both clubs are working closely with the NFL and the NFLPA, including our infectious disease experts, to evaluate close contacts, perform additional testing, and monitor developments.
So what does this mean for the rest of the season and for the rest of the NFL games scheduled? Well, for some answers, we're going to bring in sports analyst Eric Mitchell. Good to have you back with us here on NBC LX, Eric. So first off, are you surprised that this happened?
You know, I actually am. The NFL has been doing such a good job with minimum tests, being able to play every week. But we knew this was bound to happen. We saw it with Major League Baseball. If you don't play in the bubble, the writing's on the wall. We knew it was kind of happening. We saw a couple players come down with it during training camp. So it was about time it was going to happen. We knew it would happen. So it happened. And here we are on a Wednesday. We don't know what is happening for Sunday. It's just a mess coming out of the NFL.
Yeah, definitely. But do you think this could now cancel the season altogether, perhaps?
No.
No.
Absolutely not. That's not going to happen. That is not the NFL's plan. Now, the big question is, do the Titans play this weekend? Now, the Vikings, they probably will be allowed back in their facility in the next 72 hours. The question you have is the Tennessee Titans, who are 3-0, are facing the 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers at home on Sunday. That's a huge game.
Right.
Conference, anybody who's out there will tell you, that is the game of games. To not practice with your team, to even do walkthroughs, any of us who've ever played sports at any level know that's crazy. Think about it at a pro level, they're not going to walk back in their facility until Saturday, and then they all have to go through testing. So the NFL's not going to cancel the season. The question will be, do they reschedule this Sunday's game between the Steelers and the Titans? I think the Vikings will be fine, and I know their fans are hoping they get a win this weekend because they didn't start the season off so hot at 0-3. The NFL absolutely is not going to cancel their season. They're trying to figure out where the protocols broke down because they're very expensive. As we all know, they're testing 6 days a week. The only day they don't test is game day. So for these tests to come back, they're trying to figure out where the protocol broke down. So that's where we're kind of at right now. But no, absolutely not. The season will not be canceled.
Right, and you mentioned Titans set to play the Steelers on Sunday, and rumors are circulating that that game may even be pushed back to Monday Night Football, but we'll have to wait and see about that. But since no practice is happening this week, facilities are closed down, how are the Titans preparing if that game does happen?
A Zoom call, and I kid you not, that is exactly what they're doing. We all think that we go through it at all of our jobs. Seriously, these players are having meetings on Zoom calls, going over game tape. They can't come around each other. They have to follow these very tight protocols they all agreed to. But the argument is that these players knew what they were signing up for. They went through it. We all saw it during the offseason. You know, the great J.J. Watt and Aaron Rodgers and everyone else, the big names were coming out saying, this is what we agreed to. This is what we're going to do. Now, player protocol and safety is the most important thing to the league. So they're following it. Interesting enough is one of the coaches tested positive and did not travel with the team on Saturday to Minnesota for that Vikings game. So it is, when you mentioned about a Monday night move, we all have to, it's that wonderful stopwatch and timeline when it comes to when do the tests come back positive and when will we see any others. They're all going through these consistent tests, but they are doing all their film, their walkthroughs per se. Thank you, Zoom. You now are part of a NFL practice schedule.
Oh, man. Zoom creeping up into everyone's lives. Okay, before we let you go, I got to ask, so far, what are your thoughts on how the season has been going so far?
I've absolutely loved this season. It's great to see folks like Phillip Rivers and Tom Brady. I'm picking on folks who are creeping into their 40s, doing absolutely great on the season. It's been great to watch these teams. The Steelers have surprised everybody being 3-0. I think a lot of teams that are 0-3, it's interesting how the season has already played out. I'm sorry, Jet fans, but your season's already over. I mean, any team that started 0-3, I feel bad because it hurts the Titans Steeler fans probably are mad at me for saying this, but to have a 3-0, two teams playing each other at 3-0 and have this just pop up is just a slap in the face because this is a highlight game of the week. So but we have that. I mean, Patrick Mahomes looks great. And, of course, we just saw that just the other night. Patrick Mahomes and those Chiefs, the newly engaged quarterback and now new dad. He's the kryptonite to Lamar Jackson and those Ravens. So I love the season. It's been terrific. And now we get to add on more and more college football as we now go into October. So it's a great time to be a football fan. There's a lot of sports on TV right now.
There's a lot.
So
it's very exciting. Absolutely.
It's
I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the Titans and the Steelers. A big game this Sunday if it does happen. Eric Mitchell, as always, thank you so much for coming on NBC LX.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.